Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the show and the after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. By the way, you only can make your comments or questions during a live stream only. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John videos, contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all. So whether if myself or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified. Please also share the videos, comment on the videos. All these activities help the YouTube Stunthangar channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, starting at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member and I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account, and I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't miss it either. Plus, you'll be supporting your hobby that I hope that you're really passionate about, like I am. Okay. Now, you also can show your support by using the chat box and looking at the super chat down below. It's a big $sign, and you can donate any amount you like that way. Now, with your support, you'll receive unlimited, with your memberships, you'll receive unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a Q&A for members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. This is not mine. I'm only here twice a week. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And place your comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his Junar XL, and I will receive a notification and be able to respond to you quickly. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post a link now at Stunthangar Forum. Let me do that as I am speaking. And it's okay. The link is posted. So how you get into the show is you go to stunthangar.com/SMF. Look down for the thread called At the Bench, and you'll see a link with today's date. I just posted it just now. So now I'm going to go to the YouTube channel and go to what I call the control panel and see how the stream is flowing and see who's in there. And let me get set up here. Looks like Bob Hunt's getting ready to come in. Hey, Bob, just give me a moment here.
Mm-hmm.
And let me get this thing set up here. Let's see here. Where is... Hang on a second. What is going on? Mm-hmm. I don't see what I'm looking for. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. All right. So it looks like we are streaming. And let me get to the control panel. My computer's running a little bit slow. All right, we're almost there. Almost there. All right. So here we are. Okie dokie. So we have, looks like 9 concurrent viewers. We have 5 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that now. That helps the analytics of the show. And we are flowing and looks good. So it looks like we have Bob Hunt here. Jeff Riley is going to make his way in here. And Jim Vornholt is going to be here. Hey, this is great. Bob Hunt and Jim have been trying to be on the same time for months. So this is great. And Keith Trossel is making his way in here as well.
Can you hear me, Charles?
I can hear you, Jim. Can't see you yet, but I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I got to figure out. I had that trouble the last time. I'm trying to figure out how to get that camera to open up.
Yeah. Let's see. Down in the bottom of your screen, you see that where it says video. It's right next to the microphone. Click on that, Jim. It's right next to the microphone.
Okay. All right, I did that. It just still didn't open up. Well, wait a minute. Let me do it again.
There we go, Jim. All right, now we see you.
Now I'm here. All
right.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well, let me welcome everybody. Let me welcome you one at a time. Thank you, Bob Hunt, for coming in. I really appreciate it. And Keith Trossel, thank you for coming in. And Jeff Riley, thank you for coming in. And Mike Lonke, thank you for coming in. And Gary Sinclair, thank you for coming in. And Jim Vonhort. And looks like we have another Mike that's going to connect. Who is this? Hey, Mike. It's been a while since you made it back in here.
Yeah.
Well,
how you doing?
Doing well. Welcome.
Good.
Welcome. That's Mike Morrill, right?
Right.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And then we have Mark Gerber coming in.
Hey, Mark.
So Mark should be here shortly. Well, anybody do any flying this week since last time we was together?
A lot of building.
A lot of building. All right, that's cool. That works too. So what have you been building, Bob?
I'm not sure how to say this. I'm building 2 caprices. Is the plural of caprices? Is it caprice or is it capri? Or is I'm building 1 caprice and while I'm at it, I'm building another one?
Very good.
I would say that would work pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got so many airplanes in the arsenal now, more than I ever have, that I can just build stuff I want to build.
Oh, that's great. Is there anything unique about these Caprice that you're going to do that's unique compared to the ones you built before?
Well, one of them is a fully sheeted built-up wing version. So it still looks like a foam wing, but it's a fully sheeted built-up wing version. And it's interesting, I built the other one with a foam wing. So people keep asking me what's the difference in weight between a fully sheeted built-up wing and a foam wing. And now I can tell them on that wing, which is the exact same size wing with all the same hardware and everything, the difference is 1.4 ounces.
Okay.
So, which is negligible. But if anybody says I said 1.4 ounces is negligible, I'll deny it.
I didn't hear it.
What was that, Keith?
I didn't hear it.
Oh,
Yeah, you didn't hear it.
very good. Very good. Anybody else do any flying or building since last time we was together?
I finally got the chisel pretty well done.
Oh, great. Oh, wow.
See,
Yeah, I'd like to see it. That's great. Hope you get a chance to get some flights on before the contest. Ooh, I can
No.
see it shine.
nothing happened. No,
Hey,
Let me make it big here. Hang on a second.
Nice.
Wow.
Very nice, Keith.
Yeah, very, very nice.
I put one of the neighbor kids on a handle the other day.
Oh,
That was
very
kinda
good, Jeff.
fun.
Oh, that's great.
That was kind of fun. We went down to the schoolyard and just fired up until the cops showed up, told us we had to leave.
Right.
oh no.
Very nice, Keith. Wow.
Want to build me one?
Gorgeous airplane.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
very nice.
Which number is that, Keith?
6.
Number 6.
And it's probably going to be the last one. I got so, well, anyway, this one wasn't fun to finish.
It wasn't fun to finish.
No,
Why?
well, just same thing and basically same paint job as the last several have had, and there's other things right now I'd rather be building. Just, I wasted too much time on this.
Mm.
What do you have designs on building next?
An old time airplane.
You have a particular one in mind?
Yeah, but it's probably not going to work either. It's a, oh boy, what's the name of it? Hold on. It's not really an old, well, it's a scale airplane that's can be aerobatic, I think. It's the same size, same general layout as a gyrator. And better airfoil and bigger tail and longer tail than the gyrator has. So I think it's almost the same area. I think it could be made to work. Hold on.
All right. I'm not familiar with the gyrator.
Gyrator, was that a Walt Williamson design?
Yeah, similar to his Ringmaster.
Ringmaster, yeah.
And the gyrator flew pretty good, really. In fact, I think John Miller was asking a week or so ago how well it flew, and I would put it in the same category as the what was I thinking about? The Barnstormer.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I think, 4 really good old-time airplanes. Humongous, the Big Job, the Big Madman, and there's another one there. Oh, Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go wrong with any of those. In fact, I've seen a lot of people take the Humongous and fly it in AMA stunt and do a credible job with it. But then below those 4, there's a whole bunch of full-time airplanes. One of the best one of those probably is the Barnstormer. And I would put the performance of this gyrator pretty close to the Barnstormer. I know.
Didn't that gyrator have lead outs that came out almost near the trailing edge of the
Yeah,
wing?
there's a crazy thing in the article, and the plan showed the bell crank mounted right in front of the trailing edge. It's still inside the wing, but as close to the trailing edge as you can get it. And lead outs come out the near the trailing edge. And these articles say people are going to say he's crazy for doing that, but if you look at where the lead outs are and where the CG is, you'll understand. Well, he doesn't show the CG, he doesn't talk about it. And I don't know how well it would fly that way, but we know now that the location of the bell crank doesn't make any difference at all, except you don't want to put any extra kink in the lead outs at the root if you have to. And anyway, it was strange article and strange concept. There are a couple other airplanes in the old time era that showed up with the bell crank near the trailing edge and the lead outs coming out at the trailing edge.
Mm-hmm.
Keith, this Charlie Mackey told me one time back when I was drawing up the ME262, because I was in a dilemma of where to put the bell crank. He said the same thing basically you just said. He said you could put it back by the trailing edge, as long as it balances, as long as you're in balance, he said basically you can put it about where you want it. So he's I don't know if he'd experimented with that in himself or where he come up with that theory. But anyway, that's what he just
Well,
he
that's
told
he
me.
had a whole thing on it years ago. Made an actual test panel up where he
Yeah.
had the balance point or center of gravity, and then he could move the bell crank around anywhere he wanted on that board. And as
Mhm.
long as the lead outs were in the right position in relation to the balance point, it wouldn't change the way the thing hung it when you hung it straight down.
Well, there was another guy that actually had an experiment that where you could put the bell crank right behind the engine firewall or at the tail.
Right.
As long as the lead outs came out near where the CG was, it worked. It
Mhm.
didn't make any difference.
Right.
So, hey, Jim,
Yeah.
how you doing?
I'm still breathing.
You still on for Tucson?
Oh, you better believe it. Yeah.
That's
We're
good.
going to
Believe it.
invade Bart Lipinski's house. We're going to stay with Bart for the week.
Oh, you're going.
I called up and invited us. I said, Bart, how'd you like to have Jim and I stay with you for a week? He says, I don't know, Bobby. Let me think about it for a minute. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been there. I've been wanting to go for years and years, and maybe I'm going to get there finally.
Yeah. I've been waiting until Jim came on to relate a story. If you guys have a minute or two
Yeah.
for a story about Jim Vornholt. If you are interested in hearing
I
one.
am.
Oh,
Very good.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, this dates back to 1961 at Willow Grove. My family lived about 5 miles north of Willow Grove at the time in Warrington, Pennsylvania. My dad was the manager of the Doylestown Airport in Pennsylvania. And an old family friend was Larry Scarinzi, because Red Reinhardt worked for my dad for many years. And wherever Red was, Larry was. So Larry spent a lot of time at our house. And in 1961, he was the event director for Control Line Stunt at the Nationals in Willow Grove. So he stayed at our house, and every morning I would go down to the contest site with Larry, and I kind of acted as a gopher and go for coffee and donuts and post scores and whatever, run scores. And gave me an opportunity to be on the business side of the fence there. And I got to see a lot of great flyers, Werwidge and McFarland and GOP. But what impressed me most at that Nationals, being a junior at the time, I was about 13, I guess. And you were what, about 15?
Me, yeah, I was 15.
15.
Yeah, I think there's 2 years difference between us.
He was flying a Bernie Esch designed Aeron. And I remember standing dead downwind when he did his wing over on his finals flight. And I remember to this day that airplane in my mind was still dead vertical at about 4 feet off the ground. And then all of a sudden it was going the other direction, dead flat, perfect pullout. Best wing over I've seen in my life to this point. And he was my hero from that point on. I never even met him at that Nationals, but of course we met years later. But that was an amazing thing. And I found out later on about that airplane that he had a stabilizer in it that was weak and bending, and Werwidge, and I guess it was Ron O'Toole told you about
Yeah,
it.
Ron O'Toole and Bill.
And the night before the junior finals, they ripped the tail out of that thing, made a new one, put it in, and painted it, and took it out the next morning and test flew it. Then he won the Nationals with that wing over I just talked about. So he's one of my all-time heroes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the good old days.
Now you want to relate this? I'm not going to relate this next story unless you want to relate it about the hole in the floorboard.
Oh, well, we can. Yeah, I don't care. I'm sure Bill wouldn't mind. It's a true story, so
Really wouldn't like it.
I'll tell it. We were Bill was a little older than I was, and so we decided we were going to go out and get 6-pack or something, and go drive around Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, and
you're talking about Billy Werwich.
yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, Bill Warwitz. Yeah, so we're driving around. He's got this old station wagon, and on the passenger side there was a big hole in the floor, and so when when we finished the beer, we just put the beer can out the bottom of the car through the hole in the floor.
Wow,
Instead of throwing them out the window, we just threw them out the bottom of the car.
very
We
convenient.
had a good time though. That was a good year. Good year for me. Good year for all of us. Really.
Wow, that sure does provide cover. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let me welcome a few more people that came in since we started. Stuart, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. And looks like Howard Rush is in the house. Thank you, Howard, for coming in. And Lynn Burrell, thank you, Lynn, for coming in. And Carl Reed, thank you for coming in, Carl. Appreciate that.
Now it should be noted that that was Jim's second win in junior. He won the year before in Dallas with the carousel, right, Jim?
All right. Yeah. The original black one, it was black. Yeah. And then that one was rebuilt, painted white, and I took it to King Orange in December of '60. And then after that, I don't know what happened to it. It ended up in Roger Wildman and I don't know how. John Davis was the last one to have it,
Wow.
and that I remember. And then Jack Sheeks picked it up, I think, from John's wife after he passed away, and I got it and rebuilt it again in 2010. And that was when Charlie Mackey came to Indianapolis, and we did like a little anniversary, 50-year anniversary flight on it. Yeah, I let Charlie fly it. It was funny. Bill Werwitz and I was trying to get it started. They had Fox 35 naturally. I'm old school, and it was kind of heavy, and so it backfired. The prop came loose, spinner came off. So I'm trying to put this spinner back on. My hands are shaking so bad. Bill said, "Get out of my way. Let me do this." And so he put the prop and the spinner back on. We finally got it running. And I told Charlie, just you go fly it. I'm too nervous. I was like an expectant father.
Wow.
Folklore on the original one, the one you flew back in '60, is that you were able to pull out inverted and skid the top of the rudders of the twin boom airplane along the ground.
Right. Yeah. When I rebuilt it, I had to add some 1/4-inch balsa up on the top and round it off again because it was flat. I had flattened them off. So,
Yeah.
But I got some really good pictures of it when I took just before we did some flying. And I'll show them sometime.
Yeah.
Now I heard that Charles Mackey did wing over, and when he would roll the plane would roll on the asphalt after he pulled out. He actually would roll on the ground.
Yeah, Bob Randall used to fly. He was the one that flew the Gobble Swants in '58, and that's what Bob was really good. He'd come out and he'd put it right on the deck and roll it. I never could do that. I tried, but I never could do it.
That is low.
Yeah, that's low. Yeah, he put it right down on the pavement. Yeah.
That is amazing. I can't imagine doing that. That is.
Well, I can't even roll the wheels on the ground and from level flight. I've tried,
Yeah. Bob was pretty good. That airplane was that was a nice airplane. It was. Bob liked it because it stayed out on the lines real well. Charlie flew it, and Charlie said it pulled too hard for his arm, and so Bob liked it. He took it to Chicago and won the '58 Nationals.
He had another twin boomer a couple of years after that called the Liberator, right?
Yeah,
another-
Bob built it looked a little bit like the carousel, only it was the vertical fins were larger. And he
Swoopy.
put the stabilizer, he put down low and sit up on the top, like the carousel had it up on top. Yeah. But it looked a lot like the carousel. But yeah, he actually built that. I went over, I was at his house a couple times. He actually built that on the coffee table in the living room because he had a real small house, didn't have any place to have a workshop. So he built his airplanes in the living room.
Wow.
Yeah. But he built nice airplanes.
I don't know how many of you know this, but I just found out just recently from West Dick that Jim Solhavey has passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear
Oh,
that.
no.
Mm,
Those of you who don't know Jim Solhavey, he was one of the best
Yeah.
builders on the planet and one of the best flyers back in his day. He won the
Yeah.
national, I think twice, was it? Keith?
Yeah, I believe so.
64 and I know another year too.
Was it 19? I'm trying to remember when in Dallas. Was it? Did he win in
64,
60?
64 in Dallas, yeah.
And
The year
Dallas,
that-
okay,
year Scarinzi took third with the Blue Angel, and Mario Rondinelli took second with the Venus after having knocked the outboard wing off of it in a practice flight.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What other designs did he have besides the Magician and the Gypsy, Jim Sahavi? What else did he design?
Those were the only two, I think, originals he had. He was noted for flying Noblers in the early days, and then he had the Gypsy and the Gypsy 46 and the Magician.
Yeah, the Magician is one of my favorite planes. As a kid, I built two of them. I really love that plane. But I have a Gypsy
Needed a
kit.
thicker stabilizer.
I've got a picture of Jim with a Nobler on the hard drive here, but I don't know how do you do that, Charles? How can I bring that
Just
up on the
bring
screen?
up the picture up first, and then you go and share. So however you bring it up doesn't matter. But once you have it up, then hit the share button down below, and then you'll have a
Okay.
you have a palette of different images, and you just select the one you want to share.
Okay. Let me work on that. I don't know if I can get that done right now. Let me work on it.
No problem. Let me welcome Peter. Hey, Pete, thanks for coming in. Appreciate that.
I think Keith has got the answer.
Yeah, Selhavy won in 64 and he won in 60. Yeah,
64
60.
and 61.
60.
60. Yeah, in Dallas in 60. He was Artie Myers won senior. I was junior, and Jim was open. And then the following year, it was me, Bill Werwitz, and Lou McFarland in
Right.
61. Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool.
And
Well, anybody else do any flying or building this week? All right, Lynn, what'd you do?
I finished my new Ringmaster and I flew it yesterday and today.
Oh, how you like it?
Good. Got 7 flights in total and getting close. A lot of trimming. I can't seem to get the handle exactly the way I wanted. It was turning better outside than inside, but I'm getting closer. And then when I went to adjust the handle, I made a mistake and adjusted the wrong end of the handle.
Yeah,
But then that's dummy stuff.
I
Then
know.
I'm standing there and I'm flying it. I'm thinking, why is it turning even tighter outside?
Yes, I know. I know.
Oh, there's a good reason for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've had days like that when you go in the wrong direction. You keep wondering
Oh
what's
my
going
God.
on. It's getting worse and worse.
Well, I wanted it to turn less I wanted it to turn more inside. And so when I moved the handle, the wrong cable. I moved the down cable instead of the up cable. So that kind of set me back a bit today. But we'll get it straight.
Yes. Yes.
Would you like to see it?
Yes, I would. Yeah,
Hang
absolutely.
on.
Absolutely.
hey, Charles, where's that share button you're talking about? I got the picture up.
Oh, great. The share button on my screen is almost the middle of the options there in the bottom of your screen there. Do you see anything like participants or security, or do you see that stuff down the bottom?
Mm.
Share screen.
Oh, that's yours. Okay, Ringer.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow, that looks good. That looks great.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Yeah, it turned out fairly sharp. It's flying really well. Needs a little more trimming, like I say, but it came out pretty good. For some reason, and I don't know why, I couldn't see it when I built it, but it's got a warp. So I've got one of those funny looking things on the outboard wing.
Yeah, I know.
But what are you gonna do? It is what it
Well,
is. It's either that or tweak the flaps and risk breaking them, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Len, a trim tab is pretty typical for a ringmaster.
Yeah, all I had was a red one in my toolbox, so I'm gonna take it off and put a proper yellow one on there
Oh,
eventually.
there you go.
Put a
Well, you're
green
next-
one on it. It'll look cool.
Put what
Your
on?
national
Put a green
organization,
one on it. It'll look cool. Who cares?
What was that, Bob?
I said your national organization makes you put a whole lot of numbers and letters on.
Oh,
your
I'm so fed up with that. I'm right. See, but you see, I'm so pissed off with my organization that I put my AMA number first.
Oh, okay.
Put my Canadian number below it. That's
You know
how
what you
pissed
could do, Led? If you added a hammer to that signal insignia you got on there, it would make it a whole different thing. It's like
Well,
a hammer and
yeah.
a sickle, yeah.
What is
But
that,
anyway.
a horseshoe pitching?
Yeah, they're horseshoes. That's right.
Ringer, I get
Ringer.
it. Ringer. Oh, I got it. Yeah.
That's what that is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
looks
got it.
good.
Thank you.
Horseshoe pick has something like cornhole down here.
Yeah, it's something like that. Exactly. But here we play horseshoes.
Yeah.
So, and when you get the horseshoe on the peg, it's a ringer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Very
So
nice.
that's the idea of it.
Very,
But
very
yeah,
nice.
it came out at 46 ounces.
It ought to fly real good.
That flies real nice. And it's got a windy spinner on it, a windy carbon fiber spinner, because it was a little bit nose heavy. So I'm trying to lighten up the nose as much as I could. I put the tongue muffler on it, and then I had a windy blue spinner that he had as a backup for his trib or his big job.
And you got
You
some
give it a-
solder, and you got some solder wrapped around the tail wheel.
Yeah, I still got some solder wrapped around the tail wheel,
Okay. Very
but
Is
it's
that-
observant.
balanced pretty close now. So
Is that a 576?
yes, it is. It says right on the tail, 576.
Okay, I get it.
576, and I assume the D stands for Dixon, because it's the one with the foam wing.
Very nice.
Okay, well,
Well, thank you,
I'll
gentlemen.
play that.
Yeah, like
Looks
I
a
like
good
it.
looking airplane.
Well, I'm hoping to compete with it next year. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, yeah, you guys are in trouble. You
Oh,
guys,
I
Peter,
don't
what
think
do you got
anybody's
going
in
on,
that much
Peter?
trouble.
yeah, and Mike might be in more trouble than the rest of you.
If Peter got a hold of another acrobat, then we're all in trouble.
No, it's not that. It's just that just like 3 days ago, my wife and I had a discussion about control line, and she seemed to be very fascinated by the whole thing. So she wants me to teach her the stunt pattern. She wants to
Well,
have
you better
her
learn
own
how to fly
airplane.
first.
And when I mentioned combat, where there's two people up flying against each other to cut a streamer, she said, "Ooh, that really sounds interesting."
Now bring it over.
That is all right, Peter.
Naomi's got a new build to show you guys as
Oh, yeah,
well.
let me make it
Oh,
big.
cool.
Okay, hang
Hi,
on.
Naomi.
That's awesome.
This is my bread I made today.
Very
How much
nice.
Just look
Naomi's
how light and
massive loaf
fluffy
of
it
bread.
is.
Look at that.
Oh.
How's
Are you
it-
gonna put honey on it for a finish, or what are you gonna do with it?
You gonna put honey on it for a finish?
Sure.
Oh.
It-
You got a
it's-
Very
chair?
nice.
It was supposed to be made with honey, but I substituted molasses and it came out better than ever.
Don't walk until I take that hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Naomi, Halloween is coming. You could like cut it up and pass it out.
Yeah, that is very
No, it's not gonna last that long. Trust me. It'll be gone by tomorrow.
I bet.
It'd be gone tonight if we could figure out how to do it.
It'll fly right out of the kitchen into people's stomachs.
Yes.
Here, let me get those.
Thank you, Naomi.
Okay, watch
Well, we'll watch it.
Watch the airplane. Step over the wing.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
one.
no fresh
Absolutely.
bread.
Len, you married a sweetheart.
She's pretty okay, I'll tell you.
She's a good lady.
Let me
Yeah,
welcome
we have a
John
lot of
Miller.
fun.
John Miller, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Glad to be
John.
here.
Yeah.
Hi, all.
John?
Hey, John.
Yeah, sorry about missing last week.
Yeah,
I,
someone
uh,
wanted to
Let that
ask you
go-
something. It might have
Hey,
been
John.
Philip. I'm not sure who it was, but hopefully Philip comes in. I think he wanted to ask you something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
John- yeah,
for some
John, if
reason
you
or other,
miss-
I got really sleepy and was sleepy for like 2 or 3 days. I think I caught something and I got through it.
Hold in there, a good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
John?
all we're gonna tell you, John, is if you miss again, you're gonna need a doctor's note.
Oh, okay.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Hey, the fiance wants your Pathfinder. I think I'm gonna have to give it to her once it's done.
Just so it gets finished. That's what I want to see.
Very good.
Hey, Charles.
But you'll give it to her and you'll be sorry after you see it fly.
Yeah, I probably will because we did have that discussion. I'm saying, yeah, I'll teach you as much as I can teach you. But my embarrassment is going to be when you go out to a competition and you fly better than I do.
Yeah.
Well, you're a lucky man to have a woman that's that much into it with you.
Oh
That's
yeah,
so
she was
true.
just like saying, "Well, you haven't finished that yet," and she's bugging my butt, saying, "Go finish that airplane. Go finish that airplane."
Gee, I've heard that story a few times too many. That's the story I get every week of the year. Get down there and work on that plane. Okay, I'm gone.
So cool.
I thought it'd be not that plane, but
You gotta
my
tell us the
plane.
secret to that.
That
Yep.
too.
Hey guys, Keith has a question or a comment. Keith, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Keith.
Keith.
No, Charles, you're asking about, you didn't know about what the gyrator was. I don't know if this is gonna show up.
Oh, let me make you big, Keith. Hang on a second. Thank you very much.
All
Oh,
right.
that's
The
interesting.
gyrator
Wow.
was a cool looking little airplane.
Yeah, that
Very.
is cool looking.
And here's.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that is a cool looking airplane.
390.
That is.
Like 300, 400, 390 or 400 square inches on it.
Was that
Cool.
designed by the same guy that did the Williamson?
Yeah. And the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the trash can on the hood,
We talked
engine
about-
design. That looks cool.
What's the wingspan on that, Keith?
Um,
Does it
I
say?
think right at 40, no, I did that the other
Maybe
day.
more than 46.
It's 46, 40, it's 48, 48.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And 390 squares and kind of a pointy leading edge on it, but it flew respectable. It placed several times at DSC.
I like those low wing airplanes.
And it got the wing mounted gear. This thing was just compared to all the other old time airplanes, this thing was just a joy to land. The max out point or come max points on the landings on this thing. And then the new airplane for old time is a scale airplane called the Tipsy Nipper.
Oh, I remember that.
And it's almost the same size, same configuration, barn door wing, almost like what the gyrator is, almost the same area.
Oh, wow.
I think if we keep it light, we can get through the old time pattern with this.
Who designed that, Keith?
It was Woody Blanchard, the guy that,
Free flight guy.
well, free flight guy mainly, but he won the national overall open championship several times.
Yeah, he did.
Fly
Does it have a
9.
vertical stab? I don't even notice it on the drawing.
Well,
There
Oh, look at
show
that.
up there on the drawing is, yeah, down here in the corner. Right there. Oh,
Yeah,
Nice
there.
picture.
a little bit
and,
higher.
There, shows up here.
Oh, okay. All right.
What the airplane looks like, it's a light plane from England that, well, I've got a picture of it here somewhere. I can't find it. But it's a British light plane. And Blanchard said it's aerobatic and compared to the gyrator, I think it'll do okay. So it's kind of a wide fuselage, but we'll see if it works. Be something different.
Very good.
And I'm gonna have to go.
All right. Hey, thanks for
Oh.
coming in, Keith. I appreciate that.
Good
Yeah,
to see you.
Keith.
Keith.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.
Night, Keith.
Say hello to Barb.
Yeah, do that.
There was another image that came up. Was that Jim Zahavi? Or
Yeah, did that come up? I was
yeah.
playing
Yeah,
around.
do that
with it.
again.
Playing
Yeah,
around
do
with
it
it while you
again.
guys
That
were
way I can
talking.
see it. I mean, I saw it, but
Okay. All right, I'll see if I can get it back up there again.
all righty.
There
You said
you
that was
go.
a,
There
that was
it
a
is.
nobody said?
Yeah,
Is that it? Can you see it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
sure. Looks good.
Oh, that looks
Yeah,
good.
that-
Yeah.
That was in Florida in December of '60. That was the King Orange International.
Look at the cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at the
Wow.
cars. That is pretty neat.
You know, just a side story, that where they held that contest was 50 miles, maybe 30 miles north of Miami. And they turned that in, it was a vacant airfield, and they turned it into Opelika Airport. And when I was working down there, there was times when if I was short on fuel, I would have to stop at Opelika Airport and refuel. And I'd be standing there and I'd be thinking, geez, this is where King Orange was, and you know, like in 1960, and it was really nostalgic for me, you know, because I was right there where it all happened. It was just an abandoned airport at the time. At the time, they had the King Orange, but
Wow.
yeah, but had been there many times after, when it was actually operating, had an operating FBO and you know, full service airport there.
Yeah, I
They
have a
just had the
question.
King Orange last week, right?
Yeah, I think isn't it South
moved,
Carolina
it's moved.
somewhere? I don't
No, it was
think
up by Jacksonville somewhere. I was
Yeah.
in Florida
Jacksonville,
last
is it?
week and I thought about trying to go. It was a 5-hour drive. I was down in Fort Myers.
I
Oh,
think they moved it to more towards the central part of, not down in Florida, but across the state towards the Panhandle. Didn't they move it just recently?
It's more central. It's more central, but it's up north.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just west of Jacksonville, about maybe 40, 50 miles, I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not in the panhandle.
But it's between Jacksonville and the Panhandle, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Lake City, I believe, is where they said they were having it.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question. This might sound stupid. Hey, Jim, can you bring up that image again of that Nobler?
yeah. Hang on a second.
You did
here.
such a good job. If you can bring it up.
Yeah. Give me some experience here.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Is it up now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so looking at that image, now a real airplane, the elevators, don't they have just one trim tab on an elevator on a real plane?
No, they have two.
They have two on real airplanes? Okay. Because I was
Yeah.
talking to one pilot, and his plane, it was some sort of Cessna, I think. And he just had one trim tab on his elevators. And of course, his plane, I don't know, I guess it had both flaps, and maybe he just had
Oof.
ailerons. He didn't have both. So I was just I see on the flaps, I see the image of the
Yeah.
ailerons, and I saw the true trim tabs on the elevators. So I was just
Yeah.
curious. As far
That
as
was
Yeah,
a
I'll tell
big boat back
it might be something specific to Cessna or something, but as far as I know, you know, that P-51 that crashed out in not Las Vegas, but where was the Reno air race a few years ago. That's what the cause of that crash was, is the trim tab came off. They had pictures of it coming off of the airplane. And that's how they figured out what caused it. He lost control of the airplane.
that was the Galloping Ghost, right?
Pardon me?
Yep.
I'm trying to
Galloping Ghost. I think that was the name of it. Yeah, it was a P-51 air racer. Or
right.
I don't know. There was several people got killed because it kind of hit real close
Right.
to the
Oh yeah.
to the stands.
Yeah, that was
But that's what they determined caused the crash, was the loss of the trim tab.
Yeah.
So
And that plane had 2 trim tabs on the elevators, right?
I assume, I'm not really, I can't say for sure on a P-51. I'm gonna guess and just say that they probably had 2, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank
Yeah,
you for
yeah.
answering that for
Yeah.
me. And looks like Mark Weiss came in. Thank you, Mark, for coming in.
Thank you.
And now we're up to 15. So we got to be careful stepping on each other's words. There's a lot of us in here. But I appreciate all of you being in here. Thank you very much for coming in. So I'm just making my rounds as far as the last person who went flying was Lynn Burrell. Anybody else do any flying this week? Or building anything in the shop?
Repairs.
Repairs. Oh, repairs to what, Mark?
My P40, I punched a hole in the stabilizer tissue.
Oh, okay. Not flying it, just handling it, right?
Just handling it, yeah, being
Okay,
clumsy.
That's okay. That happens. And that tissue or that Jap tissue or was it Polyspan or Monaco? What was it?
No, it's silk span.
Okay.
Product dope.
I'm
Easily
in-
fixed.
Now, when you fix it, do you tear the tissue so it's so you can kind of hide the repair instead of cutting it with the scissors? Do you tear it around?
Yeah, I tear the. Well, first I take a Q-tip and I dip it in thinner, and I go around the edge of the place you've cut out and try to reduce some of the finish there and thin it out a little bit, and then I put the tissue on top of that, wet, and then dope down around the edges and let it dry, and then many coats of dope, and then coats of thinner or filler rather, and then color. And I discovered I didn't have enough filler on it, so then I put a little more primer on it, and I put some more color on it, and now it looks good.
Good. You're gonna bring that out to Las Vegas?
Yeah, because I don't have an SV11 anymore.
Oh, I forgot. What happened to the SV11?
I hit the ground.
Oh, so sorry to hear that. Oh man.
That'll do it every time.
Ground meets airplane.
Ground.
Came around the
Yeah.
came around the bottom of the vertical 8, and I don't know what happened. I don't usually hit the ground, but I'm still not sure something didn't go wrong back at the back end because there's a lot of damage back there that I couldn't necessarily connect up to the impact, but the wing and the stabilizer are still fine. So I called Brodax and they had 6 of them left.
Really?
So I got another one. Yeah.
They're green?
Yeah. I got one blue one and one green one now, but I looked at the wing. It's not too hard to peel the blue trim off of that.
No.
Replace it with green if you want to.
Yeah.
That's my plan, is to try to cobble together a new one out of the new fuselage and the old stabilizer and the old wing.
Hmm.
Well, you just reminded me, Mark. So, John, you should have done your maiden flight by now, right? John Miller?
No, we had snow on Sunday and I was
Oh.
sick.
No, that's no excuse.
Huh?
That's no excuse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Put
Yeah,
some skis on it,
Tuesday.
John.
I was sick Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And just yesterday, I just didn't feel up to it because it's still cold outside. So I've been working on the twin flight streak inside. I'm stripping off the covering off of the inboard wing or outboard wing and getting ready. I've also got to put some new, strengthen up the bottom of the airplane where the landing gear go, because it's all been ripped out. But that's a little bit of dope. It might not all be orange. It might be clear dope on it when I get to Vegas, but hey, it's on the bottom.
Not yes, on the bottom. Yeah.
Question for you, John.
Go, Gus.
Yeah, go ahead.
How far along are you
Taking
with
off,
your
Mike?
little cub?
Yep. Getting
Okay,
late
Mike.
here.
Okay,
See
thanks,
ya.
Mike, for coming in. See
All
you.
right.
See you next
All
time. Hey, Mike, before you go, oh, he's gone. Anyways, go ahead, John. Or who was it? Peter?
What was that question, Jeff?
So how far along are you with your cub?
Oh, I haven't even got it out of the box. I've been working on the SV11 and the twin flight streak.
I'll tell you what, one thing, when you lay that wing down on the building board, you're gonna find out that thing is a dream to build. That is a sweetheart of an airplane.
Isn't that a neat way to build a wing?
That thing is so easy to build. It's just like, I don't think anybody ever thought of a way to do it easier.
Yeah.
Is that
It's
being
just
built
simple.
upside
It's
down?
just
Is
a
that what it is?
What's that?
You build it upside down, right? You build the wing upside down in the Cub?
I believe it's built upside down, but that's not the easy part. The easy part is the fact that it's just like pin it down on a flat board, shim up the spar tips, and glue it together and pretty much flip it over and forget about it. It doesn't matter if you build it right side up or upside down. It's gonna
Okay.
come out straight because it's 3/32 difference from the tip to the root. And if you shim up the tip 3/32, it's not gonna twist on you. And it's
Yeah.
a sweetheart to build, and it comes out perfectly straight.
So you got the wing done? Or
I got the
framed
wing
up?
done. I got the wing put in the fuselage. I got the tail squared up. I've got the vertical squared up to it. Now I just got about, I don't know, probably about 8, now maybe 9 months worth of sanding to do to make it like really cool.
Can you show it to us?
Oh God, no, it's out in the shop. I'm in the,
Oh, okay.
no, I'm in my office right now. My
Well,
shop is out there.
it was a pleasure to draw that set of plans. And when I do the plans for Rodak, I think it was, I don't know who drew the original plans.
It was
It might-
Gasecki, wasn't it?
Well, it might have been
Or
Moon Brothers
Easky?
that drew the plans that I worked off of.
Isn't
Anyway.
it just a little bear?
Yeah, it's a little bear. But it sure was a cute thing coming off the plan, looking at the plan. That's why I went and bought a kit of it right away. I
Oh.
thought,
I think the thing that I like the best about it is the whole time I was growing up, when my dad was teaching me how to fly, one of my favorite planes to fly was the Junior Nobler. And I thought, well, I'm flying right, chipmunks, Noblers, acrobats, whatever. I've flown like 7 chipmunks, 3 acrobats, 4 Noblers. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to fly a small plane because I want something that's just easy to put in a car.
yeah,
So I thought, okay. And then our deal came up, and I thought, well, this will work. So I'll take the Cub. So I put the thing on the building table, and I got it all squared up. And it's this thing built perfectly straight with the shims under the tips. It's perfect.
I'm glad to hear that. You had a
That
good
is
experience with it.
It was so easy to build.
That is
It's nice to hear that once in a while, isn't it?
Yeah. So once in a while, yeah, I guess it is.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
can you do me a favor? That gold and black and red airplane behind you, hold that up so Jim Vornhold can see that.
Oh, he saw it. Do you want to see it again, Jim?
Yeah, I've seen that one at,
Oh, the Torino?
Torino.
yeah, the Torino, yeah, it's a beautiful airplane, yeah.
Yeah, it flies. It's like flying a toothpick, though, in silhouette out there on the lines. It's so skinny. You know,
Can you show it to us, John?
Yeah,
Sure.
it didn't have,
I
it
never
didn't
get
have
tired of
much
seeing it.
of a profile to it. It was pretty thin.
You used to fly one of those, right, Jim?
Yeah, that's what I flew one of those in '68 at Olathe at the Nationals. That was the last time I flew at the Nationals, was in '68.
yeah.
Well, those wingtips are really unique. I didn't realize those have the shape of those wingtips.
It has a very interesting shape on the wingtips.
Yeah, they do. I was always focused on the booms there, but the wingtips are really neat.
There's your wingtips.
Yeah, that is very neat, John.
And I did a phantom on the name and the numbers. You know, they're there, but you have to look for them.
Very nice.
I like
You
to
had
see
that
it
VSC one year,
match.
right?
What was
What'd you
that?
say, Bob?
You said you had that at VSC one year.
I did, and it flew quite well. I just had the wrong engine in it, so I brought it back the next year, and we put a 35 Magnum 35 in it.
Mhm.
See, and I had too big an opening here. I got too much air for the smaller amount of
Yeah.
area. So that was the first year. Second year, that was all fixed, and it really flew well then. You know,
I think, John, I think mine only, I think I flew mine with an Enya 35.
and your 35 is a good engine.
Yeah, Enya 35 is what I have. It flew really well. It
Yeah,
wasn't very, it wasn't very heavy. It was probably right at 39 or 40 ounces. It wasn't very heavy.
Yeah, this might be a little more. This might be about 44.
That's a I-beam wing, John?
Yeah.
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that the finished paint or something other than paint?
It's a rattle can paint out of the colors are all from the touch-up paint shelf at the local auto supply.
Wow, that looks really good. And I like the wheel spats. They came out nice. But I
Oh,
saw-
you got to see this, Jim. See that?
Oh yeah, excellent. Oh, that looks great.
yeah. Yeah, that looks cool.
Wow, that looks
Yeah.
like
Nice.
holes.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks like actual like you can stick your hands in there, John.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it does. Yeah, it really does.
That's good.
It looks like it's real. Uh-huh.
Wow.
All right,
Yeah,
John, your
nobody
Cub is
gets to
gonna
see
have
that
the
very
same.
often because I don't, it's usually sitting on its wheels. But
Yeah,
it was
that is a
fun to
shame.
do. I read an article about how to do it, and so I decided I had to try it, and it was fun.
All right,
This is the
John, your
second
Cub
time
is
I
gonna
tried
have
it.
the same wheel doors on it.
The wheel doors look like a photograph. I mean, it looks like it's so real inside there. Like looking inside
Well,
of an airplane.
You start with your base coat, which is the lighter color, and then you use tape, and you put tape the one direction you want depth, so you shade it a little bit, and so you keep the one that's supposed to be closer a little note with less shading, and that's what makes it look deep.
Yeah, it looks like you actually looking inside the wing. That's awesome. That is really awesome. I'd like to see that in person.
I expect the Cub to look like that, John.
Wow.
Yeah, like you agree with me, that ain't gonna happen.
Oh yeah, it might.
Very nice,
Depends
John.
on it depends on how my hands are doing. And this is covered with what is that? Polyspan.
Wow, very nice. Yeah, I never get tired seeing that plane. That's very nice, John.
I had
Well,
some pretty
I've
bad
got-
luck with some silk span lately.
What was that?
I had some pretty bad luck with some Brodak silk span lately. I doped it down and I did the 3 coats, 4 coats like you're supposed to, and thinned it down. It was great. I got it all good. Then I sprayed my white on there and then I taped it off to do my blue.
Yeah.
And then when I peeled my tape, it tore
Uh-oh.
the silk span off the wing.
Oh man. Yeah. That's,
Bob, you'll recognize the prop on the front end.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look
oh,
at that.
tornado. Wow.
Tornado 3-blade? Wow, I haven't seen one of those in years.
That's the old Western Power thing they called it. They used a McCoy 40 lightning bolt in that prop. Well, I don't have a McCoy 40 lightning bolt in here, but that Magnum puts out more power. So, and it seems to like that prop. It flies quite well on it.
You know, he used to be famous for running that prop was Tony Nacarado.
Yep, yep. They're hard to find now. They're unobtainium.
Well, Nakarado owned his own hobby shop. He could get anything he wanted to back in the day, but
Yeah, but since 20 years ago, they're hard to find. And
Nakarado, he used to run a lot of stuff that was like really like weird.
well, he was an innovator.
Yeah, that's to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his hobby shop was probably 25 miles from my house. And I used to fly at the same park that he and his mom used to fly at all the time.
Addie, yeah.
You knew Addie too?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knew Eddie.
Addie is a
I
sweetheart.
got a really nice interview. I had a really nice interview with Addie and Tony with the big job out at VSC on one of the tapes I did about VSC.
I saw that one.
Yeah, she did a great interview.
Yeah, that was a good job. I like that. I thought that was cool. And Tony's mom was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I'd go out to his shop. My dad would take me out there. And I'd go out there with maybe like $6 in my pocket, and I'd want to buy a Junior Nobler, and it was $6.89. And she'd say, "Well, don't worry about the change, son. We'll take care of that for you."
Nice.
And I don't know. Addie was really cool about it, and then Tony, he was like, he'd be out at the field, and it was like, "Oh, your engine. Okay, well, let's do this to it. Let's put this one here. I got this needle. I got this spray bar. Now let's make it work for you." And Tony was always willing to help. They were a great family as far as
They were.
plans.
Yeah, last time I saw Tony was at Smith Brothers Hobbies.
He worked at Smith out there in Santa Clarita, not Santa Clarita. It was close
That's Joe
to it.
Gilbert.
Yeah, it's Joe Gilbert. Joe Gilbert's in the house. Thank you for coming in, Joe. Appreciate it.
Joe
Right.
Gilbert, Mr. Ringmaster.
You're so kind.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Charles,
Yeah, Mark.
as Pampa president, I think I must tell all of you about a recent run-in I had with the law.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
So you can decide if my term should be shorter or not.
Well, don't worry, we'll bail you out. We'll bail you out.
Now you might be subject to an impeachment. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I went with 8 other guys to Williamsburg for 3 days of golf. And a friend of mine and I decided to ride together in his Hyundai SUV. And Bill, who's a little bit older than me, we were in the same unit in Vietnam, but we were a year apart. And I guess because of that, and we both have prostate cancer, we have a certain kind of weird bond. He's not a modeler, but he's a good guy. Well, because of his prostate cancer and the treatment, he has to stop about every 90 minutes to empty himself.
Mhm.
So if you know anything about the roads in between Washington and maybe Fredericksburg, it's one of the worst high traffic areas anywhere.
Uh-huh.
So we made a stop, and then we changed drivers, and I drove the rest of the way in his car, which I wasn't all familiar with, but So we're 95, we're going south, we're about 2 hours out of Williamsburg. And Bill kind of gets my attention, says, "Mark, I gotta pee." And I said, "Bill, give me a 1 to 10." He said, "No, this is a 10." He said, "If you can pull off on the shoulder right here," he said, "that'll work." Well, we weren't going anywhere anyway, and the shoulder was fairly narrow, but I pulled his car over. And as soon as I did, Bill got out and pulled his zipper down. And for whatever reason, I kind of looked in the side view mirror on the right side, and I saw flashing lights coming.
Oh no.
And it was a Virginia State trooper. And I'm figuring, I guess he wants to get by the shoulder. So while Bill is still peeing, I pull into the right-hand lane. And then I stopped because I couldn't go anywhere. And I figured out, what am I going to do? I got to pick up Bill. So about the time I'm trying to make this decision, there's a rapping on my window. And it's the state trooper. And he's not happy. He's one of these young guys. He's not happy. And he yells at me to open the window. Well, this car's got 27 switches on the driver's door.
Oh, no.
I could not find the window.
Oh,
So what I did was open the door. He said, close the damn door. I said, if I close the damn door, I can't talk to you. And he said, well, what are you doing here? I said, my friend is peeing. He said, I know that, but you can't stand here while your friend is peeing. So he said, get the car back on the shoulders. I got to get the car back on the shoulder. And now I think I can't wait to see this ticket. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. So now I start laughing. I said, so I'm watching him approach Bill. Now,
He's
Bill,
really pissed off.
now Bill is still peeing. So Bill's kind of looking down the way we do, and the trooper's looking at him with his hands up in the air. All I hear him saying, he said, I'm going to arrest both of you guys.
wow.
And Bill said, go right ahead, but wait till I zip up, which I thought was a great answer. So he let us go. So maybe someone on here who's familiar with the rules of being a Pampa president can figure out what my future is here.
I'm glad you
Right
didn't-
in, Mark.
I can't tell
You're
you
the president.
but
You're the president, Mark.
I had a very, very similar situation because we're outside of DC. We're all government contractors, and we're sitting in traffic on that loop, and it's just like crawling. And one of my coworkers in the back saying, "I gotta pee. I was like, where the hell do you want me to go? Where do you want us to go? And you gotta pee. And like we're creeping along and we come up to a spot where there's construction going on. And guess what? Like out in the grass, about 200 yards away from the highway, there's a porta potty. And he goes bolting off. We pull up on his shoulder and he goes bolting off to the porta potty. Same deal. You know, a trooper pulls up behind us. Is like, you can't stay here. You can't stay here. You're holding up traffic. Well, I'm on the shoulder. Well, why are you sitting here? And my buddy's out there on the porta potty taking a piss.
You got to remember, Mark, that you're the president. We're just peons.
Oh, that was
take
bad.
mayonnaise, George,
Oh.
with this.
That was bad.
Very
You know-
good.
You know, Bob, now you're going to feel bad because this was actually, that's something of substance to talk about. But now I have to change it. But this is really about my experience since 2011, the last time I flew RC, and that was the first time I went to Brodak. Was that as I try to recruit people to Pampa, you know, I say things that are true and say things that I have passion and feelings about. And one of them is the kind of people you meet. You know, you just meet some wonderful, wonderful people. There are 17 others on here right now. And I think it was maybe a week and a half ago, I showed all of you the P-47 bubble that belonged to Bill Werewich, which to me is, you know, it's kind of like just about the Holy Grail. So I just want to tell you how good things can be in my world. Somehow years ago, I met with Bob Hunt and we became friends. And I knew his name, of course, and he's been a wonderful and a pretty close friend of mine. And I go to his house and I'm looking at one of his close friends' airplanes, Billy Werewich P-47, and I'm lucky enough to end up with it. And I go back to Bob's house about 2 weeks ago because Bob suggested after I flew it that I update the power system. And we started doing that and it got pretty far. And he said, you know, this is not, you know, I wouldn't give myself an A in understanding electric systems. But a guy that you may want to talk to is Joe Daly. So this is a world champion, Bob Hunt, telling me that I should visit a guy who was on the team this year, who's an also good guy and a great friend of Bob's. So I end up taking this Bill Werwich P-47 up to Joe Daly's house, who must have worked on it for 5 hours. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know, how lucky am I? I may sound corny, but I mean that.
Oh, I bet.
You know, Joe represents kind of a newer, younger group that has been around for a while. Bob, of course, represents, you know, to me, the epitome of stunt. And then you get Billy, who hasn't done badly either. You know, and you know, and then you meet other guys at Brodak. I feel like Joe and I are friends. So it's very good. And I spoke to Bob the other day, and we're going to get together when we both can and have a nice day and fly the newly powered P-47, because Bob said to me, you know, I know the airplane means a lot to you, but you can't let it sit on the ground. You know, now that you know what an airplane should feel like, you know, take advantage of it. So the whole thing for me, you know, and I always kid people. I say when I'm at Triple Tree, when I go through the gate, I feel like somebody, because that's the way they treat me there, and they treat others there. And in the control line world, I feel very fortunate to have met, you know, just a lot of wonderful people. And so it may sound corny, but thank you, Bob. Thank you, Joe Gilbert. Thank everyone, you know, who takes someone like me and is willing to work along with me. So thank you all.
And notice your eyebrows have grown back in too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you can't leave it at that. What's the story?
I'll let Mark tell that.
Which story?
The eyebrows.
Your eyebrows have grown
Oh,
back.
yeah. I guess Bob was testing me, but Bob says to me, you know, Bob says you can come to my house whenever you want because my wife really likes you. You know, which is kind of like, what about you? You know, it's like I'm going up to be with his wife.
You don't like him.
So it was one of those, I think it may have been a time where I spent the night. We were designing this Marksman airplane. And I love hamburgers. I mean, you know, I'd rather have a hamburger than, you know, good health. You know, it's just, so anyway, Bob, I know Bob can cook. So I'm going over to the grill and I'm leaning over the grill and Bob is flipping the burgers, and kind of out of nowhere comes this tsunami of a flame. And the next thing I know, I smell this awful odor. And then I realize it's where my eyebrows used to be.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just, I couldn't go outside for like 3 weeks. I had this, you know, nothing going on here.
The mustache was still intact.
Mustache was, yeah.
The hamburgers were good.
I don't know.
Funny.
If you ever get invited to Bob's, get pizza.
Well, you brought the last pizza.
Oh, that was good.
Hey, guys, just give me 1 second. Let me welcome. I forgot to mention, hey, Paul Taylor, thank you for coming in. I appreciate that immensely. And by the way, what are you doing, Paul? See you working on something there. I know you're muted, but
there we go.
Oh, very cool.
All right.
Little Spitfire, cool.
Very cool.
Here we go. So this is Ron Burns designed this years ago and sent me some plans, and I built 2 of these for my 2 boys. And we recently just had our first grandson, so I'm refinishing this and I'm converting it to electric. And gonna have it for my grandson.
Very cool, Paul. Awesome.
That's nice.
Very cool.
Paul, it's good to see you.
Hey Bob, how you doing?
Me, I'm doing great.
Good.
And then we also welcome Philip Bailey. Thank you, Phil, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
Phil.
How are you?
How's Jim Lunch?
How's who?
Jimmy's having a little bit of some health issues. I talked to Joanne or been texting her the other day. So, yeah, he's battling, I think, a little bit of cancer right now. So they're doing some treatments with him, but he's in the shop almost every day.
There's no such thing as a little cancer.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's true.
I mean, that's good that he's in the shop. Let's clarify that.
Yeah.
Well, tell him hello when you see him.
Well, I've kind of moved away, but I'm in touch, so I'll tell him you said hey.
Amen.
Very cool.
Philip,
Yes, sir.
somebody told me you had a question for me Monday that I wasn't here.
Lord, I can't remember what it was, John. If it's too much, I'll give you a buzz. I've forgotten.
Okay.
I have CRS, and I admit it. I can't
Well, I have
remember.
it too. I have it too. So
Yeah.
School Collect sent me an email, asked me some questions, and I forgot what they are, and I accidentally erased his email, and so I haven't been able to get back to him on it. I feel bad about it because he's on the forum here with us.
You might be listening. So,
Well, I had a fella.
get back to John Miller.
Yeah.
I had a fella call me and do the same. I mean, text me and ask a question, and it was about the perfect moments for Gieske and Obler. But my phone updates every once in a while. I don't know if everybody's does it, but my Apple phone updates every once in a while. And when it updates, when you put more stuff in, evidently something has to go, and it's random as to what it gets rid of. Well, this time it got rid of about 26 emails and about 6 phone numbers. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't have the guys. If you're out there listening, I know you're in another country. If you would text me again, I'll be sure and get you the moments. But well, if you're listening, it's 9 3/8 14 3/4. I think that's right, isn't it, Bob? Perfect moments.
That's the moment from the Caprice.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
was
perfect
actually
moment.
Gene Shaper's Blackbird. So, you know.
Yeah, but that's what everybody calls the perfect moments, and that's what if you do a Gieske and Obler like that, it was the best Gieske and Obler I've had those moments.
First of all, they're not moments; they're just measurements.
Well, measurements, yeah.
Yeah, they're measurements, and we used to call them moments. So typically that's what we call them. But it's interesting to note when you brought that up. Gene told me that when after a contest where we were coming home from a contest up in Massachusetts, and we stopped at a place to eat, and I asked him if I could build his airplane, and he said, yeah. And I said, well, you know, could I modify the wingtip shapes and everything? And that's where the Caprice came from. But he said, I'll give you the what he called the quote unquote secret moments. And it was 9 3/8, 14 3/4 on the wing that we all used, which was like kind of a modified Nobler. It was a little wider and a little thicker. We called it super wing. But at any rate, you got to remember that back in those days, the noses were a little longer because we had 6-ounce Fox 35 with wooden propellers, which were very light, no mufflers, and we were using 3.5 ounces of fuel because in those days we did not have to do 2 laps between maneuvers. You only had to do 1 lap between maneuvers. So we had to actually extend the noses to balance the airplanes. So later on, when we started using these airplanes for classic with Schnurley motors and mufflers and carbon props and 4-ounce tanks, all of a sudden they were too nose heavy because of the length of those noses. But if you want to be legal, you still have to keep those noses that long.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
means
I tried to cut down a Nobler, ARF Nobler, and make it electric. Bad idea. Some people have pulled it off, but for some reason mine always flies like it's very nose heavy.
Well, you can angle the battery, you know, top to bottom and move it aft. The battery doesn't have to be centered like a, you know, like a glow engine, because, you know, if you raise the battery, it's not going to make the engine run differently. It's just, you know, motors are different.
Well,
so you can angle the battery and move it aft and get the center of the mass of the weight of the battery closer to the balance point.
Another neat trick I found in the last day or two, these new batteries are round like the old NICADs, and you can pack them back there much further. That should help, man. I went to a 20, I can't remember what size, 2814, I think, motor, but it's running everything it's got to fly the plane. At the end of the pattern, usually it speeds up there for 5 seconds or so to give you a good landing. When it speeds up, it's coming right back to the speed the thing's flying at. So I don't think that motor's got quite enough oomph for this airplane. But anyway, it's a heavy airplane. You
got to have the motor matched to the battery to the prop. You might not have proper efficiency. Apparently, you're using a human timer because you get the slowdown 5 seconds before. You might want to try one of the active timers.
I might try that. I've got a couple of them laying here. I may try another one in it. I got to get it to fly a little better before I go try and change electronics and do all that. But I got to get the new batteries first. That'll be the first thing I change.
You
Are you
say
using
new?
Li-ion now?
I'm sorry, what?
You using the Li-ions?
I'm going to, as soon as they come in. I ordered a pack.
Yeah, I just
But I
switched over
ordered
to
them. Yeah, I ordered them put together like Igor does his instead of end to end, so it would fit in there in a smaller spot.
Right.
And we'll just cut the bottom of the battery tray out so it'll all fit back there, and then drop it down to where it'll fit in the top to bottom. I just got the system in there where I was happy with it, where it goes in kind of like yours, and now I'm going to cut all that out. Oh well, anyway, that's all right. But it was my first electric, and it was I never got it quite right, but I kept with electric, just not with that one. But it's a nice wall hanger downstairs. Everybody likes to see it.
Hey, Phil, maybe it's time to go away from the dark side.
Well, I'm still flying. I still fly both. My Cavalier's Air Tiger 36. My Caprice is Air Tiger 36. If I ever finish it, it needs painting. I've still got 3 Air Tiger airplanes. I've got 4 Tiger 46s. I've got a 76. I mean, I've got both. I fly both. All my old time stuff is still glow.
Did you get your white paint job figured out?
Do what? Paint job? No, I haven't had a chance to even go down there.
That's that white paint job that you said weighed like what, 10 ounces or something?
Oh, that one I'm just taking off. I just got some. That's on my impact, and I just took some. It's not denatured alcohol, it's acetone, and just wiped it off.
No, I painted my junkyard dog, and it weighed 16 ounces before I painted it, and it weighs 18 ounces now.
2 ounce paint job.
That's not bad.
Great.
That's just the base. That's just the base coat, though. That's no trim.
Well, I think I became one with the paint gun when I painted the impact. I don't know. That's the first one I painted with automotive paint, and I think I just overdid it. I must have been painting shadows or something. I don't know what happened, but they picked up 10 ounces.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Ooh, sorry to hear that.
This,
How big of a plane is it?
This has got to go. So,
hey guys, let me interrupt. I have 3 questions. I think it was Peter was first, and then Mark Gerber. You had a question, but you lowered your hand, and then there's a question here from Paul Taylor. So go ahead, Peter.
No, it's not really a question. It's
Or a
just I
comment.
want to go back to Mark, where we're discussing Washington D.C. and the incident about having to go to to relieve themselves. But there's me, my 2 coworkers, and the guy on the right. He's the one that was running out of the porta potty at the time. There's the Washington Monument in the background. But I was looking for the picture of him running out of the porta potty. But yeah, that's him, the one all the way on the right. He just could not contain himself. And that's it.
Okay.
That's
All
all
right.
right.
Okay. And then I think it was Mark Gerber, but you removed your
No,
question.
I was giving you a thumbs up, Charles. That was not a hand.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that. And after Paul, and then Stuart. Go ahead, Paul Taylor.
Yeah, somebody was mentioning timers a while ago. I don't know if I would put this on like a full-size, full-blown stunner, but for like cafes, my son, he found this little Adafruit on Amazon for like $5, and basically you just solder the pins on it and program it by statically touching the pins, but you can set the RPM, the time and all that. So I'm going to put that on that little Spitfire.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Cool. That's
Very
I just thought I'd
Yeah, that is neat.
And
thought
then,
I'd share that.
and then Stuart, you had a question or comment, Stuart?
Yeah, I was talking about the soldering aluminum last day, and Bob Gore gave me his number to call him later, but I don't know if he gave me the right number. I just can't get a hold of him. I called him and left a text him, but he didn't get back to me. Does anybody have his number?
I do. I'll give it to you in this chat, not the chat on YouTube, but this chat. So I'll go ahead and type it to you now. And then I think that's all the questions, right? Let me see here.
Hey, Charles, I got a question for you.
Go ahead. I'm going to type this number for Stuart, and then go ahead.
How do you think that landing gear is going to work out for you? Is it stiff enough for your airplane, or?
I haven't compared it to the stock one, but I'm really excited how it came out, and I'm gonna hopefully have a chance to go try it out tomorrow morning. Joe Mott and I found this. See, the problem is, gentlemen, I fly on grass like 99.8% of the time, and then I just put 2 official flights or 3 attempts on asphalt, several times a year. That's it, or a couple times a year. So I have a problem when I go to contests landing on asphalt because I'm always landing on grass. So Jeff Riley helped me put the wheel back just a little bit further, and so I bent them up last night, and they came out excellent because he gave me great directions and illustrations that it was just pretty much idiot proof, and it came out great.
They looked really cool in the pictures you sent me. They looked like they formed up just about right.
Yeah, it came out excellent. The way you had me set back the top on the part that goes on to the, I have an 18-inch Harbor Freight brake, and anyone familiar with
you
it?
set the clamp, you set the top clamp back.
Right. Yeah. So it worked out excellent. So I can't wait. I'll report back.
How do they fit the fuselage at all? I mean,
I had to make a notch. I had to remove some material because it wouldn't fit originally.
You notched the back, so it's 1 3/8 inches. It's not 1.5 inches.
Yes, I notched off, took off about 1/8 of an inch, and I haven't tried it, but I tried it when it was flat. Hopefully, in bending it, I didn't change anything, and it should fit. I look forward to it. I look forward to trying it.
Okay,
Yes.
so
How are you?
your axle points are going to be either 1/8 of an inch back, 1/8 of an inch forward, or 3/8 of an inch forward.
Yeah, I mean, you gave me 3 holes to.
So you get 3 spots. You just give it a shot.
I sure will. I'll let you know.
See which one works.
Hey, Lynn, did you have a question, Lynn?
Oh, I just wanted to talk to Joe for a second if he's on here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Joe, I finished the Ringmaster. I got it in at 46 ounces.
It'll be awesome. It'll be a good.
I got 7 flights on it today and yesterday, and it's flying pretty good.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I'm happy.
What motor's in it, Lynn?
LA 46.
That's what's on mine. That'll be
Running
right.
real nice.
Tiger 11.4 prop.
I'm using a Yoshioka 11.4.5.
Perfect.
Yeah, it seems to really like that prop.
Very good.
Yeah, it came out a little nose heavy though. I had to put a little bit of tail weight in it, but that's par for the course. So that brought it up to 46.
Already, you got a tongue muffler on it already.
Got a tongue muffler on it and a carbon fiber spinner.
Can't do better.
Can't get it much lighter. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the weight and everything. Couple more trim sessions and I should be ready to go.
We'll be playing at Brodax, baby.
We'll be playing. Good stuff.
Glenn, is that one of those big Ringmasters?
Yes, it is. Yes.
With flaps.
Yeah, they're supposed
with
to
the
be a lot of
flaps.
fun. I flew one at the base, and it was a lot of fun to fly.
Yeah, I can
Alright,
show you guys. I already showed it once, but there's some new guys on here.
Let's go.
Yeah, go ahead and get it. Yeah,
Hang
go
on.
ahead.
again.
You're
I
more than
gotta
welcome
run.
to show it
I gotta
again.
go to bed. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay,
All right, see you,
so-
Stuart.
Take care of yourself, Stuart.
Take care, Stuart. You're welcome, Stuart. I happen to have his phone number, so
There it is.
Good,
let me
thanks.
make it big. Lynn, hang on one second. And Peter, what are you sharing with everybody? What was that?
Okay, I just.
Oh, hang on.
shared
I was just curious what it
on
was.
YouTube, I have a video on YouTube that I would like to share if anybody wants
Okay.
to see it.
All
It's
right.
it's a 2004 World Championships practice sections.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Lynn. I'm sorry, Lynn. I was just
That's okay. No problem.
chat.
It's all good. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh yeah, we can
That's
see that.
cool.
Yeah, nice with the horseshoes
That is
and
cool.
the ringer.
You know
That-
what's wrong with that, Lynn?
What's that?
Not mine.
Very good.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Joe, if we're at the same contest, you're welcome to fly it.
I'd like to go for a ride on that. Looks like a
That'd
good
be
one.
awesome. That'd be good.
Did you get my address? sent it
I
to you.
haven't gone into that. I'll check it out tomorrow. I'm sure it's there.
Okay,
Thanks, Phil.
okay. It's,
And I'll
you're
send you
welcome.
that stuff.
I
Nicely
appreciate
done.
it. I'm really
thank
looking
you.
forward to seeing that because that's not the way mine is. I like that. That's a good looking airplane.
The canopy worked there. You did the canopy nice.
Thank
Sure
you.
did.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. It's all dope. It's all the wings all iron on, the tails are iron on, but the fuselage is all dope.
So what class would you compete that plane in? What class?
Profile.
Profile.
Oh, just profile. Okay.
And expert.
Profile or CLPA if there's no appearance points.
All
You can
right.
do
Why
expert.
wouldn't you get
Yeah,
appearance
expert
point
if
on
there's
it?
no appearance points. Sure, why not?
Why
You could
wouldn't you
get
get
12
appearance
appearance
points
points
on
in
it? You
football.
built it.
I hope
What
to I hope to
what-
compete with this pretty much exclusively next year.
Wow.
What gauge is that pink wire running back to the battery? What gauge is that wire?
Well,
I'm not sure
Very
what the
good.
gauge is.
Oh,
3 millimeter.
oh, Bobby.
Very nice.
That is
It
nice.
is, it's heat proof though anyway, Bob.
I love it. Very good.
Thank you.
That's
Take
neat.
it
I
away,
have
Peter.
Are the horseshoes painted on?
No, they're just trim sheet. I cut them out of
Oh,
trim sheet.
you just cut them out? Okay. Uh-huh.
See what I did, when I did the horseshoes, I cut a half of a horseshoe and then
Mhm.
cut the other half of the horseshoe and then the pin goes through the middle. So that I can get it on one, like each piece on a trim sheet. 'Cause you can't get
Yeah.
trim sheet that wide.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I did the red in 2 pieces and the blue in 2 pieces.
Okay.
So it worked
Yeah,
out
looks-
pretty good.
Yeah, looks good. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
It does look good, Lynn.
Thanks very much. I'm happy with the way it's flying, so it's good. I've had 2 sessions with it and I figure another session or 2, I should have it pretty well nailed down.
And Len, Naomi did a nice job on that plane.
She did. Well,
She did.
hey, I gotta be honest, she designed the paint scheme again.
Here you go.
Okay. Very
Yeah,
nice.
she's my paint scheme designer every time. We sit at the table with the paper and the colored pencils out every time, and when we get what we like, that's what we go with.
That's
Oh,
terrific.
very cool. Colored
Yeah.
pencil. That's a good way to do it.
Thank you. I'll pass that along.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just finishing up a 576 that doesn't have flaps. Now you
Okay.
guys got me wanting to do a 576D with flaps. Ugh.
I want to
Okay.
do one with a full body. That's what I want to do.
Mm. No, I'm gonna hold off on that one. I want to get these done. I
Well,
gotta finish something.
if I get too happy with this, I'll be building one with a full body if I get too happy with it.
Yeah, I want to get that plans to that chipmunk and build that chipmunk. I originally thought I was going to put a 54 on it. I went and looked at the fuselage. And I said,
It won't
no,
take it.
No,
It
that's a 46 size airplane. That's not
Yeah.
a 54.
They're not strong enough for that.
Yeah, I looked at what you're talking about putting the other 1/8 inch. He's got it. The fuselage is built with plywood sides, 64 plywood sides. I think I'm going to put. I'm going to do something to brace it out a 1/4 inch on each side if it's a fairing or whatever. Something to brace that out.
Hard balsa both sides, like
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then just trim it where it's concave,
on
whatever.
one side.
Yeah.
They're little
Well-
flimsy in the nose. built.
Yeah, well, that's a big tall fuselage.
Yeah.
And then the wing sits, I mean, it just sits absolutely on the fuselage. It's
On
just
the
in the
bottom.
front and the top. The bottom is not attached at all. So, whew,
Does it have dihedral?
yes,
Yes. Okay.
yes. Yeah, I'm
That's-
looking forward to building one when I finish what's on the board now, which is, oh, I don't know when I'm gonna finish it. I got to get down to the basement and work some. This
How many
week I have
planes
not.
you got? How many planes you got in progress now, Phil?
I'm embarrassed to say.
Me
I'm
too.
back with
Phil.
this one. I'm
Come on,
back to
Phil.
9.
Come on,
I'm back
Phil.
to 9.
Come on, Phil. You don't have more than me.
Well,
I got 9.
I've got 9.
In progress?
Yeah, 9.
Oh,
8 of
wow.
them just need, no, 6 of them just need paint. I should
I
have
have
9 new
9.
airplanes next year. If I can get Mr. Hunt to give me the secret to this catalyzed paint, where I could get a paint job on it that doesn't weigh a ton and a half,
The
I
paint,
would.
the paint
do what?
itself is, the paint is not catalyzed. The paint is air dry.
Oh, it is.
It's
Yeah.
the clear that's
Oh,
catalyzed.
And
Well,
the
anyway, I got.
primer and the clear, they're catalyzed.
Oh, okay. I got to find a way to get a decent finish on some planes, but no, they're covered. They're silver. They're ready for, well, they're not silver. They're polar gray, but they're ready to paint. But every time that I have in the last 8 weeks that I have tried to, well, since June, I guess it's been more than 8 weeks. Anyway, every time I've tried to sit down and paint something, either the phone rings, it rains, somebody mows the yard and gets the dust stirred up around here, something. I just,
Or you
it's
just
always,
don't feel like painting.
well, I don't really get that way because I want to get these done so bad. I'd like
Okay.
to have a new airplane,
Yeah.
but I get out there and get everything all set up. And I was testing the sprayer, and my next door neighbor started his lawnmower. I said, "Oh crap, forget it, because it's just be Dust Bowl, Oklahoma." I mean, everybody. One of my buddies told me I was a kid, and I said, "Well, come up, drive over to the house. Come over to the house. Just come by here for a minute." He said, "I'm on the way to." I said, "Just come by for a minute. If you're going there from your house, it's on the way." So he came by and he says, "What do you want me to see?" I said, "Look at the top of the Mustang." He says, "Why is it covered in grass?" I said, "Everything is covered in dust. My wife has a red Mustang convertible, and the top is black, but the top looked like it was growing grass. Just had dust all over it." And I said, that's what everything looks like out here. I would have put it in the basement, but I just didn't get it there fast enough. Anyway, it's one of those things, but you just, one thing or another happens and you just don't get it done. I just built a building in the backyard, and I'm hoping to build a paint booth on one end of it.
There you
But
go.
I'll have to take the lawnmowers out in the yard and the 4-wheeler out in the yard to set it up. And I got to get power out there. That's the first thing. But hopefully next summer I'll have that and be able to paint something. But right now it's a blame nightmare. But you live and you learn. There's always some kind of adversity to overcome. That's half the fun of it, figuring out how to get past it.
Phil, if you're gonna build a paint shop out in your backyard, you're gonna want to run a ton of power out there, because you're gonna want to run a big compressor so you don't have to wait for it.
Oh, I'm gonna put my 220 compressor out there. Yeah, it'll have my big tank compressor.
Yeah, I know.
So-
I got a 30 that I spray with.
Wow. I think mine's 30 gallon.
That's what mine
And-
is. It's 30. It's a
and it's
110,
220.
but it's a 30 gallon.
Yeah, I got a little 10 gallon. I thought I could spray with that. That thing won't even run a Badger.
Nope, it doesn't work.
It don't work.
No,
It won't even run a Badger, let
don't
alone a
do
spray
it.
gun. Jeez, it'll pump up a tire, but forget it on a spray outfit.
Maybe a bicycle tire?
Well, it'll
Airbrush.
blow
It'll
up.
run an airbrush.
Not
It'll
Well,
run
really.
it'll run an
Yeah.
airbrush, but not.
Not
I would
very
hate to have to paint a
well.
whole airplane with that.
If you do
I
it, won't
used
weigh
to.
much. If you do it, won't
Hey,
weigh much.
I painted one of my first airplanes with an inner tube, and we go down to the service station and pump up the inner tube, come home and hook the Badger up to it. And when it get down low, I'd get the kids to set on the inner tube. So get enough pressure to try to finish it. I'm not kidding.
That's
I'm not
awesome.
kidding. And then sit there with a
It
tire pump
works.
and try to pump it back up to finish the airplane.
I
I remember
painted-
Get a
they
coach.
sold that setup in the AHC, American Hobby Center. Is that where you got it?
I don't know where I got that. That's 46 years ago. I don't know, but
they say-
45
they say
years ago.
Dedicated.
But it was
What
one
was
of those
that,
things
Bob?
where,
I said, they say we're not dedicated.
yeah,
Yeah.
We're dedicated.
you do what
All
you
of
have
us.
to do, brother. That's all I
You're
can tell you.
definitely dedicated.
Poor boys have poor ways, Phil.
That's it. That's it.
Yes.
47 years ago, I didn't have two nickels to rub together. Vicky and I got married.
Who did?
My daughters both say it was kids raising kids, and that's probably true.
I wasn't alive 47 years ago.
We all got
with
we
you
all got
beginner
cowboy
luck.
boots on.
44, come on. So,
Kids.
With you
Hey,
beginner
welcome,
luck.
Brent.
Cowboy boots
Hey,
on
thanks for
you.
coming in, Brent.
How
Appreciate
are
it.
you, Brent?
47 years ago. Let's see.
Hey, Brett, how big is Gordon's compressor out in his garage?
it's either a 60 gallon or an 80 gallon.
He's got that
But
piped
must
into
be-
his shop.
That's
Yeah.
probably an upright. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's a big upright.
Yeah. I tell you what hurts. The local service station up here above us just got turned into one of those gambling places, fish table places. And they took an 80 gallon out and threw it away.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
threw
you
it
should have
away.
been there to grab it.
Well, it was sitting there, but I didn't know it was, free to whoever wanted it. The funny part was they turned this place into a fish table place, ruined the service station, covered up the walls in the front and cut openings in the side of this thing, spent a fortune up there, put all the machines in it and everything. Didn't get the permit to open it before they did all this. And the county will not open any more fish table places.
Isn't
So he
got
did all that
47
money and
slot
ruined the
machines and
service.
They can't open the doors.
Yeah, they can't open doors. It's too close to a house.
Awesome.
The county says it has to be 350 feet from a house, and it's 57 feet from the front door of a house.
It's probably
Got a house
45
next
feet
door.
from
I
high
thought
school.
somebody absolutely did not do their homework. But he
Somebody
put a
was
bunch
about
of
as
he
sharp
tied up
as
a
a
bunch of
donut.
money.
Yeah. Somebody was about as sharp as the flat side of a donut.
It
Yeah,
could be
that's it.
arrogance too.
Yeah, that
Well, it
too.
could be.
Could be
Could be.
arrogance.
Could be, but whatever. He put a bunch of money in this thing that can't open it. That had to hurt. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy, but that had to hurt.
Oh, that's terrible.
I like the way you put that, Lynn.
Yeah.
sounds like
Somebody was about as
Yeah.
sharp as the flat side of a donut.
Perfect.
That's pretty good.
That just
I
has
saw my
that
first
just
purple
has a
donut
lot
this
to
week.
tell about a lot of people.
I
I
went
was
to,
out the
I went to,
airport.
go ahead.
Out the
Go ahead,
airport
Jim.
yesterday. We was walking around. One of the guys says, "Joe, I got an idea for a vaccine." I said, "Really? What is it?" He said, "We need to get a vaccine for stupid." And he says, "I want a shot in both arms too."
Joe, you know you
That is
can't fix
awesome.
stupid.
Um,
I want a shot of that too.
you can educate
Both
ignorance. You
arms,
can't do
dang it.
nothing with stupid.
There's
I
not a
would need
pill you
shot
can
of that
take.
too.
I think
Can't
Steve
fix
Hines
stupid.
has a T-shirt that says "Duct tape can't fix stupid."
That's it. That's it.
Oh
That's
my
it.
gosh.
Oh my
I thought it was
gosh.
still cute.
I did.
Duct
That's pretty
tape
good,
can
Joe.
fix everything.
I'll have to wear my T-shirt one night. My granddaughter gave me a T-shirt for my birthday. It says, "Grandpa can't fix everything, but he can fix what stupid." No, Grandpa can't fix stupid, but he can fix what stupid does. I said, "Oh Lord." I've got one grandson who he has to take everything apart. I mean, he's not a kid anymore, and he has to take everything apart. Now he cannot always put it back together.
Yeah, boy,
He
that
can
was,
always manage to get it apart.
that was me when I was a kid. I took everything apart.
Well, I think he's going to be an engineer when he finally gets through college because he's inquisitive. He wants to know what makes it work.
Hope he doesn't become a surgeon.
Hey, guys.
Really?
Yeah, Bob.
I gotta go to bed because I gotta get up early in the morning and help Kenny Armish put his wing in his Caprice. So he's coming
All right.
early.
Hey,
Bobby,
thanks for coming
Bobby.
in, Bob. And I'm glad you and Jim finally got together. And
Yeah.
thanks to you, Mark.
Oh,
Thanks.
see you, Bob.
Take care, Bob. I thought
Tell
when's your
Kelly,
Keep
contest?
Noreen high for us.
Yeah, man. Say hello to Colleen for us.
Will do, Bob. Thanks.
Bye.
Good night,
Take
Bobby.
care,
Good night,
Bob.
Mark. Thank you very much for
All
coming
right,
in.
Bob.
See you, Bob.
I'm glad Ken's working on an airplane.
That's awesome.
So who's coming in this group is going to Vegas?
I am, and Mike Lonke and John Miller and Joe
Trey
Mata and
Jim
Trey.
Rhodes,
Jim Rhodes.
Mark, are you going to Mark Gruber going?
Yeah, Mark's going. Mark Gerber's going.
Keith is going.
Yeah, Keith Tross will be there.
Somebody said there was
That'll be a
20
big group.
experts signed up.
Wow.
Yeah, they got the whole West Coast varsity team going to show up there.
Wow.
Well, maybe I'll enter advanced and expert just so I can be last place and expert. I can fly twice, you know?
Hmm.
Has anyone ever done that? Has anyone ever entered advanced and expert at the same time?
Yeah.
Allowed.
Is it not allowed?
I don't know.
Yeah, the worst part about it is I'm not gonna have a plane ready to fly.
Hmm.
So
Well,
if
it's
I
not
go to
because you
Vegas,
haven't
I'm gonna fly
tried.
my ringmaster.
It's not
Jeff-
because you haven't tried.
Huh?
Well,
You've been building on that little cub, you know. Been great to see that ready to go.
Well, yeah, I'll get the Cub going, and it's not ready to go this year.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it.
I'll
Nope.
be bringing down a bunch of pantry
You know what?
handles. if
Okay,
anyone
John,
needs one.
I'll make you a deal. I'm gonna win Vegas next year with the Cub.
Really?
All
I
right.
don't think so,
I don't think
but I'm
so.
gonna give it a hell of a shot.
Well, it'd just be great to see you there.
I just think it'd be a lot of fun to just fly it with a 15, just for fun.
Oh, yeah, a good 15 is all it really needs.
Yeah, just come
Not
if you
that
don't have a
big a
plane.
plane.
Jeff, I went there last year. I didn't finish my SV11, so I went there and had a great time.
Miller has a kitty climbing up on.
I saw that.
I have a friend who just bought a giant Mancoon. Now he's a kitten. He's a kitten now. It's only so big, but he's got paws a third the size of my hand.
They're
I
huge.
said, I hope you're ready because this is going to be one big Arnold Schwarzenegger kitty.
Yeah.
Well, we just got a nice super chat by Mark Lumen. Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate that immensely. I know Sparky does too. Super
Thank you,
chat's
Mark.
been really light. We got a $49.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate that. That really helps.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was curious, Brent, do you have anything to share? I know you have some pretty interesting show and tells. Do you have anything to share tonight?
I'll be bringing a whole bunch of fancher handles and stuff to the contest to sell if anybody needs one. So,
Are your fancer handles kits or are they built?
they're kits. I can glue them together for you if you want, but
No, that's all right. I'm just curious.
yep, they're just the kits, just like Ted sold them and just like Carl Shoup sold them.
Carl
So
did,
they're
yeah.
just-
Okay.
Those are my favorite handles, by the way.
They are
Mine
awesome.
too.
No doubt about it.
William sells. Those are my favorite handles. This is not a paid endorsement, but I just
It
love
is-
those handles.
all right. I got one more question. Is there a little bit wider one?
No, I have the 3-inch and the 3.5 inch, but there's a little bit of room if you want to get in there and hog it out a little bit, you know.
I might do that. I got one that I got from Tom Morris, and I need to hog it out just a little bit just so I can get my, you know what?
What
I
I've
fly
seen
like
some
that.
people do is I've seen some people they've hogged it out. Well, let's see here if I got one.
You want to share? I can
have a visual aid. So they've taken, let me turn my camera around here. Let's see here. All right. So they've taken the handle and they've, right here, they've put a little finger notch, you know,
Yeah.
back here, they kind of come up. And then for guys with big hands, I've also had people just add some more material back here to kind of fill up their hand a little bit more. So it doesn't feel like their hand, you know, that they're flying their airplane with a, you know, 3/8 ratchet. You know, if you have big meaty hands, sometimes it feels better to put some extra meat back here, just add some balsa, you know. And then my brother built one of my kits, and he added finger notches and kind of added some meat back here. And boy, that feels awesome. It really just sticks in your hand. You can't, it
Gives you
doesn't
that
shift.
pistol
Yeah, that's
grip.
what I do.
You got the pistol grip.
So
Yeah, I just wonder if it had enough meat right there in that top corner to hog it out. But if it does, I'll do that. I'll hog that out a little bit and probably put a little bit of finger grip in it.
The finger
there's one
grips
little
work
project.
good.
It's just
That
like
handle
everything
is-
Tom. It's there like everything Tom Morris does. It's done. It's finished so nice. I hate to mess it up. I hate to change it because he's just a first class guy.
It's just a tool. Phil, use it.
That's it. That's
Use
it.
it and fix it up.
That
and-
one's got longer arms on it than mine does.
So, I mean, in the instructions, I tell some people, it's like, if you need to, put a shim right here so it's really, you know, tight on your fingers, you know, like,
Yeah.
Yep,
like
that's what you
I,
want.
I'm convinced a lot of people's inconsistency is their handle, their hand moving around inside their handle.
Oh gosh.
Holding up like this or like that. So
That always bothers me when the guy says I'm having trouble learning to fly, and you see them and they put their hand in something, and you know, one time they grab it here, one time they grab it here. Get some wood and put in here where you always grab it the same way.
Yeah, you want it tight, but not uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yep.
And fly with your
So-
fingertips, not with your, don't put a death grip on it. Grab it with the first joint, where the first joint just wraps around right there.
Yeah.
If you'll do
I've
that.
done test flights where I've just flown nothing but like wing overs and other stuff. And
Mhm.
I've moved my hand within this to see how it feels and to see how much variability I can change it with. And it's huge. I think a lot of people's problems are right at the handle. That's the
Mhm.
first place. And then like especially inverted flying, it's like they may set their neutral just fine, but by the time they get back out to their handle, they're nervous or their hands greasy or whatever else, and whatever their neutral started out at, after by the time they've got to the other flight, they may be holding it like this, or they may be holding it like that, or they may have their hand all the way through it, you know. So their initial, you know, setting of when they set neutral is no longer neutral. So
Yeah.
it's
I just gave away a real nice adjustable handle at the contest a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of guys were asking me, "Why did you get rid of that?" That's because it's 2 inches bigger than my hand, and it was just too big.
I'm
I
just
figured somebody.
I'm just so surprised with all the talented individuals on here. You guys just don't make a handle that fits your hand. You know,
Well,
just
that's
make
what-
something for yourself rather than, you know, purchasing a Hot Rocks or whatever.
Well,
far as
the best one, the best one I've got so far. I like that. I like what he's got there. That's Brent's handle is a really nice handle, but I've also got some of the Smith brothers, and those work quite well as well. They feel real good in your hand, and you can adjust them, make them fit just like you want to, and they
Brent's
are
got
light.
enough-
Good gracious, they're light.
Brent's got enough wood on his that you can adapt them to your hand really easily. And
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
so nice. They're light. I've only got
Yeah.
a dozen of them, Brent.
do you? Yeah, I remember I sold you. I think I've sold you 3 or 4 of them.
I think
So-
at least 4 one time for sure.
Yeah.
Carl Shoop and
Yeah.
they're easy to use, easy to set up. I
Yeah.
usually cut the
Well,
tangs off.
the thing I like about them is they've got that they do have that little bit of adjustability. That you can move the arms in and out just a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
that's
And you can move the wood around. You get your fingers to fit if you like that. You know, I've done it both ways.
so I don't know if
you
you
know,
guys
stand
have safety plugs set up on your electric, but this sure is a nice
Yeah.
way to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that way it's always on the plane.
Yeah, I
Don't
do
gotta
that
worry
too. I
about
have
it.
a little lanyard on mine as well.
So I made this one a little bit big, just so it's like if I go flying with my kids or with people, so they can get their fingers on it, I'll pull it
Yeah.
out. I've seen some of these that it feels like you're trying to pull a little sliver off the
You do.
plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
mine
this
was
one,
mine was kind of snug at first. I had to kind of do a little filing to make it so that people can just pull it out with no problem.
Yeah,
They
this
make
is,
a molly-bin grease, electric grease for that too. You can put a dab on them.
yeah,
Yeah,
a little,
Ever
Okay,
use
good
that?
idea. No, I have to try
It's
that.
electric grease.
yeah,
Made-
molybdenum.
Yeah, that's it.
got all the bits in there now, so it's all ready to go.
Very
That's neat.
good. Very good.
Yeah.
That's very neat.
There's a whole lot of
This
fuel
is the
lines in
little
there.
electric tray. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's
No, I don't think you showed that to us before.
the battery sits in that, and then Velcroed on, and then it goes in the little thing. Goes in like
Hey,
that.
Charles, I'm gonna go.
All right, hey Jim,
I'll
thanks
see
for
you guys
coming in.
later.
See you
Okay,
later.
I'm
see you
chasing
guys
people
later.
out with electric here, so.
Take care of yourself, Jim. Stay out of trouble.
But
That's
got
neat.
this Sultan trimmed up and ready to go. It should be fun to fly down in Vegas. So
Well, I saw it fly last week. It flies pretty good.
yeah, it flies really good. It's so I'm hoping to get 500 plus point pattern for the first time. So that's my goal, is to,
Hey, you're gonna put me in last place.
yeah, well, so be it.
Too
A
bad.
little trash talking.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, John, I'm gonna will you to win.
Will me the win.
I'm gonna will you to win.
Yeah,
You have a question, Lynn?
Bet on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Brent something. Brent, when you make your handle, I noticed your handle with the lines there. Do you put sleeves over your clips?
Yeah, I'll show you what I do just for my own paranoia.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I can't see right yet, but
Let me make you big, Brent, 1 second.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. See, I couldn't see them on the video. I see them now, but yeah, I was just gonna show you because I do the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay, that's cool.
It
Yeah,
just,
because without those, I mean, those clips can go sideways in the handle or at the other end, and if they do, you've just lost the airplane.
so what I wish I hadn't made these so short. So the problem is the way I made these particular clips, the little loop on it is a little short from my liking.
Right?
The ones that I send out in kits now, the
Yeah.
little things are down
A
here
little bit
another eighth of
longer?
an inch
Okay.
at least. And
Okay.
so this is just, it just scares me, because I've had times where I've come back from the flight and it's like darn near ready to pop out. So
See, I put the tubing over the entire clip, right from end to end, basically,
yeah,
as you can
that's another
see.
good way to do it. So
Because
Where did
I'm
you get the
afraid of the
hose?
clip turning sideways. If the clip turns sideways, which I had happen once with an airplane, the airplane starts looping one way or the other
yeah,
until it lets loose and goes back straight. Well, I almost lost the plane. I got lucky. And
Show me,
ever
Yeah,
since,
show me again, Lynn. Didn't
so
have you.
every time I fly now, I have that silicone tube goes right to the eyelet on one end and right to the handle on the other, so that
Where did you
clip
get that
cannot go.
silicon tube, Lynn?
That's just
Squid
large,
tube.
it's just large fuel tubing.
Fuel tube.
That's just large fuel tubing.
Okay, I'll go get
But
some.
what it does is it makes sure that there's no way that clip can go sideways at
Yeah,
either end.
makes sense.
Because
I like
I
the
almost
idea.
lost the plane, and it's like, no, we don't want that happening again.
No,
So if your
Remember-
clip, if there's any gap in the clip between the clip and the eyelet, or between the clip and the handle, like the handle, you got to close that gap. Otherwise, the clip can go sideways. Because if you do a wing over and it goes soft, that clip's going to go sideways maybe, and then you'll lose the airplane.
yeah, you got to check it at the plane every flight too. So it's,
Yeah, but at least
Well,
this
the-
way, if you do a wing over and the lines go slack, that clip goes wherever it wants to. Unless
So-
it's
I
stopped
think
from
I'll
going
start putting those
somewhere.
on both ends.
the clips that I think are the best, even though I sell line clip sets for people, full
Right.
line clips. I think the best clips that are out there are the Hello Kitty clips that Randy sells, those eliminate any of that stuff. They got the spring, they're like an old Luxon clip like that,
Okay.
except
Yeah.
this is a spring on the Hello Kitty clips,
Oh, isn't
those,
that a neat, that'd be a neat idea. Anything that keeps it from that it can't slide,
yep. So
Okay.
that's, those are really the best, I think. not dogging the product that I sell, but I just,
No, no. And I
from a
mean,
security
you don't
standpoint,
need, yeah, it doesn't matter quite, well, it's the same at the airplane. At the airplane, I usually use the old Lexan clips.
so yeah, the Hello Kitty one is just the next iteration of this,
Okay.
So it's taking that, and let me see if I have one in here. I might.
That'd be neat to see one. I've never seen one.
You never seen them? They're
I've
pretty
never seen it,
expensive.
no.
Well, tell you what, I'll find one and I'll show you here in a minute.
All right.
So
No
I'll
problem.
find one. So
Peter's been hanging on to his handle and you want to share something with us. I'll make you big there, Peter. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just, like I was saying, it's like I was surprised that, all these talented individuals here are not building their own. This is something I built back in Christmas, the 1970s, for crying out loud. I mean, it doesn't have all the little adjustment holes in it yet, but of course I can add adjustment holes. But I don't have a problem with the clip turning sideways, because you see there are eyelets here, and the clips are they don't really need it too, because they curve all the way around. And these are clips that I picked up. I don't know where I got them from, but they're the standard clips. There's no way that is coming out. And and back in the day, back in the 70s, you wanted total adjustability, so I can turn around, take these knurled knobs, adjust the overhang, adjust the neutral on any given handle. And it was just like, these days everybody has a handle pretty much to fit a specific airplane. This was like a tool of all trades. You can turn around and have this one pretty much on any airplane, adjust it any way you want to adjust it, and it would fit any one of your models.
But
And
then
the
you
thing
have to
is,
adjust it every time you switch airplanes.
and the thing is that this I built to fit my hand. So you can see it's just like there's no gripping it any other way. I can grip it like that, or I can grip it like that, but my fingers fall into the grooves that I have cut in this handle. And there's no going this way or going this way. It's always centered where the sweet spot is.
Right.
And I'm just I just kind of like was thinking that we have all these talented individuals out there, and they're getting a handle built for how would I say one size fits all. And it did not take me very long to come up with this.
Yeah, you definitely
And
have
like
to
I said, I had this since the 1970s.
Hey, Peter, in my situation, I have a lot of airplanes. And so therefore I need a handle and a set of lines for every airplane pretty much, because otherwise I have to keep adjusting the handle every time I change airplanes.
Yeah, but
that is why I have one handle, one plane. That's all I'm saying. I'm not criticizing. If you only have a few planes, that's fine. But when I'm flying over a summer, I may fly 20, 25 different airplanes. I have to have a set of handle and the lines for that airplane that are set. Otherwise, I'm standing out there at the field, monkeying with the handle and the lines all day, trying to get a setting. I set the lines for a plane once, and I never set them again. I never have to touch them.
I agree. I agree with that. I certainly do agree with that. But it's just like anything in stunt. If you have a logbook, if you have a logbook and you turn around and you say, okay, 3 turns on the top, 2 turns on the bottom for any given airplane, you know where you're going to be at. The other nice thing about this handle is you can turn around and launch the airplane, fly it, and you can dial it in as it flies.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. That's neat.
So here we go. Here's the clips of the. We'll take a guided tour here. So here's the standard scissor clip, that in a kit. And then here's the old Luxon slider clip that we all know and love.
Yep.
Aren't those
Here
pretty
are the
cool?
Hello Kitty clips.
I like those. They're pretty cool.
They're the best. They really are. And they're super easy. So let me see if I can get this to one hand this thing. So you just pull back the spring. Come on, here we go. All right, see if we can get this.
Easy for you to say.
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's easy to get it on, easy to get it off. I understand.
Yeah,
Yep, and then with the spring is going to retain that, you know, so it's
Right.
these
I get it.
these are also pretty easy to make, you know, it just you just need a little jig with varying lengths of them and some springs. I got a bunch of the springs on like AliExpress or something like that. They're just you just measure the springs. It's 40. These are made from 47 thou wire, stainless wire.
That is
spring
very
wire.
cool.
And
I never thought about making Hello Kitty springs. I mean, Hello Kitty connectors, as I never really saw one. So
yeah, they're pretty awesome.
I like it. That's pretty sweet. That is.
Well, it takes all of the things that you don't like about standard clips like this and gets rid of all of that in one fell swoop. It's just it
Yeah, it's
fixes
just a
all
matter
of
of
it.
figuring out how to bend the clip. Once you figure out how to bend them easily, you're off to the races.
Well, yeah, I mean, you
can
just
can you use 045 welding wire for that, or does it have to be some special stainless?
I don't think it matters what you know, as long as it is good tensile
Hardened,
strength.
yeah.
It's
I have
plus you've got
045
spring
stainless I
as a
could probably do
retainer.
that with.
So yeah,
Cool.
it's but I think they're the safest way to go. And then you can make them, and like the kit comes with, you know, you get
Those are sweet.
from Randy, you get several lengths of them, so you can still do the hard point handle thing with them. And they're like $30, I think, from Randy, you know, and whatever his shipping is. I sell a set of these for 15 or $20, depending on my mood. But the nicest ones are really these, just for the reasons we've talked about. They're graduated length like you need, and then they have they're just with that spring, it holds them closed, so you're never going to worry that your clip's going to open up. Not ever. It's just
Exactly. That is sweet.
That's a superior clip.
Oh yeah, it's
They are
so,
the best, no doubt.
Could you
and they're
use the
low. They're
spring from the
fairly low
ballpoint
profile.
pen?
So like there's some people that talk about you know, that if you're putting fuel tubing around at the lead out end, you know, you're introducing some turbulence right at the lead out, which I'm sure it's you know, something at 55 miles an hour is going to create some turbulence, you know, no doubt. But something like this is fairly low profile, and it gives you that absolute peace of mind. But they're easy to make. It's not rocket science to build them. It's just acquiring the springs, you know. So I could measure the springs with dial calipers if you're interested, and let you know. But
Very good. Very cool.
anyhow, they're show
Very
and tell,
cool.
right?
Very
That's
cool.
awesome. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you very much, Brent. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So I'm just getting my batteries charged to go flying tomorrow. So that's what I've been doing while I've been talking to you guys. So got the big spider down here charging batteries. So
Oh, very cool.
So you guys are flying tomorrow?
yeah, at 11. Yep.
Busting all the way.
Okay.
So they're called Hello Kitty clips, just in case anyone doesn't know the story.
Okay.
They're shipped in this bag.
That's cute.
That is
So
cute.
that's how they acquired their name. You know, the original name might have been Spring Clips or something, you know, innocuous like that. But because they got shipped out in a Hello Kitty bag, thus the moniker became so. And then you guys asked about the handle kits. So you know, that's how they get shipped out.
Okay. Okay.
Just like
Yeah.
that. And then
So they haven't changed.
yep, same.
Still like they were. Okay.
Looks as good as ever.
That
I
was
have two of
Ted's
those.
stipulation, is they had to be the same. So I
Yeah.
couldn't put Ted's name on it if they weren't the same. So
Yeah.
that was his deal. He's like, if you're gonna call them Ted Fancher handles, they've got to be Ted Fancher handles. So that
You
was
got both the big one and aren't there two sizes right there, Brent?
yeah, there's the 3 inch and the 3.5 inch. So
Uh-huh. But both the sizes are right there, guys. Check them out.
Very
So-
cool.
Put them next to each other there, Brent.
Let's see, actually, both of these are 3.5 inch.
Are those the
actually.
little ones? Okay.
These are both big ones. So,
Okay.
but they look exactly the same. It's just this
Yeah,
dimension from in here to in here. This one's 3.5, the other one's 3, so it's like this dimension's the same, this dimension, just everything's the same. It's just, whoop, we just
half-inch
in
bigger.
CAD drawing, we just pulled it in. Whoop. So, yeah, it's funny. Initially, I only offered the 3.5 inch. And then a guy up in the Northwest named Marshall Palmer called me and said, hey, is there any chance you could make the 3 inch? And I didn't have the 3 inch drawn up yet, but I happened to find a 3 inch kit on eBay. So I hurried and bought the 3 inch kit. It was just serendipitous, the 3 inch kit showed up. So I was able to complete the drawing really easily and compare. And I've sold a ton of the 3 inch ones. I've been surprised how many of the 3 inch ones have sold. So
They pinch me just a little bit.
oh yeah, they're too small for me. I can't get my fingers in the 3 inch
Yeah,
one.
I
So.
couldn't use a 3 inch either. No way.
But yeah, I've sold a lot of them. So
I have a question for everybody as far as the wrap on the handles. What has people found that they really like? Because I've tried.
I just use that. I use that tape, like if you wrap a wound, wrap your knee, or whatever. That bandage tape.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Baseball bat tape. Mark.
Stuff.
And then when it gets nasty, I just change it, so because it doesn't last forever, like if you can see on this one, it's starting to get kind of
Yeah,
kinda
they get
ragged.
pretty, they get pretty funky after a while, don't they?
That's
so
a
but
good,
for the price.
I don't use a wrap. I paint mine to look like the same colors and design as the airplanes.
I've seen
Is that-
guys use, like tennis racket tape. I've seen all kinds of.
You're talking about this stuff.
Let me find you, Peter. 1 second.
Yeah, he's talking about this stuff. It's like, it's this tape. that's-
Yeah, it's
Yeah, is it sticky or not sticky?
Yeah,
Is it?
no, it's not. It sticks to
It's not-
itself.
That sticks to
It's not
itself. That,
sticky until it's not sticky until it touches itself.
that's right. That's what I use too. Same stuff. It's good. It's great stuff.
Like an ace bandage.
What's
Gives
it
you a
called?
really nice grip. It's
Yep.
outstanding. And when it gets kind of oily and crappy after a while, just cut it off and wrap
Cut it
it
off
again.
and,
Go again. Yep.
pull
How many
another one on.
Put copper wire around your handles? Is that a pretty? I've read about it. So
It works.
on this one, you can see that I grounded it. I put thin copper wire came up around the handle.
Why do you want to do that?
Just
So that-
just so you
Yeah.
guys know what I have here, it's called Coflex. Coflex LP2. And I stole this from the hospital when I was in there.
Nice, Peter. Way to go.
Yeah, well, you spent enough time in the hospital. That's to be expected.
What wrapping the handle with a little wire does for you is it gives a path for the static electricity that builds up on your lines.
Will
Oh,
not build up.
Yeah, and it
then
can't
if you-
build up. It
Yeah.
breaks it off all the time.
That's a
And then
good
if you-
idea.
Spectrum
get
too.
it.
wear tennis shoes, it'll shock the crap out of you someday.
you
You
don't
ain't
fly.
lying.
You don't fly in Florida without some sort of grounding mechanism.
Well, I've flown in California with it.
Gerald gave me the advice to use that at the last nationals. A lot of people gave me that advice after I got zapped.
Oh, is
Yeah,
you got
it's
zapped,
the
right?
worst if you had a hot rocks handle and you had that metal loop right in the back of your hand.
Oh, yeah.
So how shocked did you get, Howard? Was it zapping
Oh,
you
it's
pretty good?
uncomfortable.
I got pretty zapped,
Did you?
and I told people it was dangerous, and they ignored me, of course, because they're
They know more, Howard.
yeah, and
They
and
know
then,
more.
uh,
Then they
Dave
got shocked.
lost feeling in his legs for a little bit after he
Wow,
got.
that is a good
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
I've
Yeah,
had to go.
Howard is saying like, how can I get this airplane out of the air, please?
Fly it low as you can and kick your shoes off and grab the wire. and let it
Yeah,
go out.
I've heard that the voltage potential as you go up to 70 feet, 75 feet up, that the voltage is way higher
Oh,
even
yeah.
up that far than it is at ground level. So
Oh, yeah. I got a nice burn in my palm one time when I was only about 15, because I didn't know. And I put it up into a wing over with a storm coming in, and boy, well, I'll tell you, I had a burn on the center of my hand for a long time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we all did.
I had a buddy that put up his brand new Spitfire, Sterling Spitfire, first flight. He's going up over on a wing over. He got up there and he had a hot rock on it, and that hot rock hit
That's
him.
what I had too. Yeah.
And no, of course, we didn't use safety lanyards. So, but he opened his hand from the shock, and that brand new Spitfire, lines, handle, everything took off, and they're flying around like this, and it went up almost out of sight. We could still hear it, and then it's shot down, and we chased it with our bikes, and we found it, believe it or not, draped over somebody's house. The plane was not touching the ground, draped over the house, and the handle on the other end. And we jumped the fence. We got the lines, rolled them up real quick, put them on, and took off, went back to our flying site.
Yep.
Wow.
I could imagine if
yeah.
we'd took out a window or something.
Yeah, it's like the same thing here. I'm like flying a Ringmaster Imperial. I'm getting zapped all hell. Finally, I let go of the handle. I was in Flushing Meadow Park at the time. And the airplane is just going, okay, it's gone. It's going over the lake. It's going to end up in the freaking, in the pond. And then the handle gets wrapped around a light pole fortunately. And it was like, boom.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, I have another super chat from Michael Torrey. Thank you, Michael Torrey. I appreciate that. And he's interested in doing a show and tell of a large 3D printer for RC aviation. But
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, so he has to join the stunthangar.com /
Didn't cost anything.
Yeah, it's free to join. Just have to, when you register, you have to provide your real first and last name, Michael, with the space between it. And when Sparky gets around to it, he will approve you. Sparky's always spinning plates. So just give him a couple days and he'll check you out, and then you'll be able to come inside here.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, I just want to clarify something for me. So when you wrap the wire around the handle, is it important for that copper wire to contact the stainless steel ends of the handle, or it's just need to be wrapped around?
Just touch the wire.
Has to touch the wires.
Touch both wires?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wrap mine around the little metal brackets.
Any of the metal.
It's gonna touch the metal. Exactly.
And don't fly when there's a thunderstorm coming in.
Yeah, well, I don't get too many thunderstorms in Southern California, so I'm pretty fortunate.
You can dang sure get zapped in Oklahoma.
Oh, I bet.
I guarantee you.
I can tell you for a fact in Southern California, you do not have to have a storm coming in to get zapped.
Yes, you are an expert in that. 2 times over, you are an expert.
Many times over, but yeah.
And then I imagine Stephen McBride's an expert too.
Yeah.
Just because he's in the trade. Hey, but hey, you guys, thank you so much for a fun night. We're going to end the live stream and go into the after party. And so thanks for coming in. And hopefully you have a chance to do some flying or work on your shop this weekend and come back Monday. And Monday is Halloween.
Yes.
So, I'm going to be wearing some dreads.
Cool.
Oh, Lord.
I don't have any hair, so I'm going to have some hair.
Stevie Wonder's coming to town.
Yes. But I think it'd be kind of fun if you think about some sort of costume. That would be a blast. Come on in with the costume and maybe your flying hat if you don't want to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. The least we can do is wear our flying hats.
Yeah.
Wear a fedora.
Yep.
Wear a fedora.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking, Joe.
Joe, bring the fedora. Don't go without the fedora on Monday.
Yes. So Come back Halloween. We will be streaming Halloween. So, anyways, thanks everybody for coming.
Good
in.
evening,
Appreciate it.
guys.
Good evening, Joe.
Good night.
Too, Joe.
Good
Have a
evening,
good
guys.
night.